Jagex is now giving us Deadman Armageddon. Alright, this is the new Deadman mode they've just announced. PSA tomorrow's Wednesday, May 22nd game day has been postponed due to critical issue. No way. What? It better not have fucking been. Excuse me. Until when? Games update has been postponed due to critical issue found in testing. As a result, we delayed the update until next week. What? This game will be rebooted as usual to allow us to update the PvP rotor. There will be no downtime when this occurs. You can expect combat project rebalance changes to launch 5th of June. Look at that, 5th of June, boys. 5th of June. So not next week, the week after, we will get the combat rebalance changes. So that's good. That's bigger and better news than Deadman ever will be. That's annoying as fuck though, that they don't have an update tomorrow because I have a sponsorship scheduled for tomorrow. So Rune news is still coming. Don't you worry, boys. We'll have an update happening next week instead of tomorrow. But still, Deadman Armageddon. Let's have a look. July the 19th to August the 3rd. If you're going to participate in Deadman mode, I will not be this year. This will be the first Deadman I haven't participated in like 4 years because I've done the last 3 or 4 and I've not enjoyed them thoroughly because I find that personally for Deadman mode, I find that you either play it for a bit to make a bit of money, you play it just to have a bit of fun and take advantage of the mechanics for the first few weeks. Then it really comes down to really like 3 groups of people. Is people who are in massive clans and it's just big. You're basically just you're a bunch of predators just fucking eating anything you see alive in multi plus other clans and big fights. You're likely a rich player / content creator and you are swapping money over for content, or you're buying your gear like a lot of PvP content creators, because what they'll do is they'll transfer money over from the main game to Deadman mode with gold swapping, which I believe is probably still going to be legal, and then they can just buy up early gear really quickly and go PKing and make content out of it. And then the third type of player that plays Deadman mode is just those looking to have fun and take advantage of the early PVM advantages that you can get. I won't be doing it this year because I don't really find it that enjoying anymore, so I plan to not touch it. But I heard that there's some cosmetics here that might make me touch it, so we'll have to see. Combat rebalance is 5th of June. Yeah, thanks for... we got an echo in the room. Is that a fucking parrot? Thanks for that, mate. Appreciate it. Last year, tens of thousands of you fought to death in the face of the apocalyptic threat to Gillinor. After all was said and done... Okay, we don't care about the fucking lore. Come on, let's go. What do we got? The main game... main game cosmetic rewards. This is where they're starting off. This is good. This is strong. We want to start off with cosmetics. Ever since we made cosmetic rewards available through leagues, we've been clamoring to see them in Deadman mode too. This will make Deadman mode more popular because Deadman mode kind of sucks otherwise. So we're looking to make this a reality by offering a variety of cosmetics to appeal to PvP veterans and novices alike. Incidentally, we already have a handful of items with unique appearances from the corrupted weaponry, of course. Please keep in mind that some of the following images are early concepts and that some visual elements may change ahead of release. Alright, if you vote for us to begin development in next week's poll. Okay, cool. Got some cool changes here. We've got a Scythe one, a Turmeric and Shadow one, which is pretty cool. The Dragon Claws, the Voidwaker, and the Armadur Godsword, by the looks of it. No, it's Bounder's Godsword. I don't know, one of the Godswords. Alright, so here we... Oh, look at this as well. T-Bow and the Nightmare Staff. Damn, that looks fucking nice. That T-Bow looks sick. I ain't gonna lie, dude. That's looking pretty juicy. Those do look good. I like the blood dripping. Hopefully the blood does drip. They should have blood drip from all of them. Like the end of the Scythe, the claws, the shadow even. Like, why not have blood drip on all of them? I think that would make it way better. Just a dark bow. It is just a dark bow, true. But I think it's pretty cool for a T-Bow. Dark bow does look pretty good. I reckon it's be armor since that's more relevant PvP, true. Yeah, I agree. But you know, Scythe and Shadow are not. But we'll see how we go. We'll also be offering up a Deadman themed spin on the classic and viewed gold capes. Alright. Unlock via Major Arena 2, you'll be able to dish out ferocious free. No one gives a fuck about that, alright? Fuck the wordplay. That looks pretty cool though. I like that for the Mage Cape. Play on the Zami, which is nice because it's the best looking Mage Cape. You don't like the Shadow? Well, you're too garbage to get it anyway, so I wouldn't stress, mate. The gold cape does look cool. And then we've got a rug for the player in house, which is also nice. I like that. And of course, a home teleport. Is this a home teleport or dying? Random things as animation will be, we've all been there returning from the wilderness trip, crossing that level 30 banner, realizing we left our teleport in the bank, wadding down to 20, casting a frankly embarrassing home teleport. This override can't hide the shame of forgetting your runes, but it will make you look significantly more awesome. Alright, so that's a new home teleport. Kinda like it, to be honest. Especially that it's not just teleporting away, but arriving with the teleport. That's pretty good. Another sinking in the cum teleport. True, but this one you're also, like, immersing from the cum. You know? It's actually pretty dope. I like that. That's pretty fucking sick. Perhaps the home teleport isn't quite embarrassing if you're being sucked into a breach of your very own and coming out unscathed. Alright. Click here for the version with an all-white background instead. Alright, cool. Looks good. That's a good teleport. They do a good job with the animations and cosmetics in this game. I will say that for sure. All overrides will be unlocked by using the appropriate cosmetic scroll, which you'll purchase using the points you accumulate from Deadman. Okay, boys, looks like we're playing Deadman Armageddon. I didn't want to, but it looks like we're fucking playing it. Scrolls themselves are tradable, so if you hate looking good, doesn't matter. I'm an Iron Man, so I can't buy them. We're playing Deadman, boys. Fuck. Fuckers, they got me. Alright, fine. We're playing Deadman. Points are earned by doing just about anything you can think of and don't technically require you to fight other players. That's totally fine. Although we'd like to see you try and avoid it. So even if the newest of noobs should be able to pick up a few treasure goodies, that's fine. Alright, fine. I'll play. You've convinced me. 25k. No one cares about all this garbage. It's the same thing every year. Gameplay changes. Here we go. The point system. We've learned a lot from your feedback regarding Apocalypse, and we want to roll out some changes to the core experience for this round. Okay, last year's season gave us a strong foundation to build on, so we're looking to see just how far we can push the format without starting from scratch. We'll start with the point system since it's fresh in our minds, of course. Alright, this looks good. In short, we reckon points were a great way to motivate players to progress through Deadman, even if you're not the most seasoned PvPer. They also drove players towards breaches, creating hotspots where players could maximize their gains while we maximize the carnage. This year, we've ramped things up a bit. Awesome. So, to start with, we've had a few new combat activities for you to practice in. Scarius, Moons of Peril, and Fortis Coliseum, which is cool. And we've rejigged some of the activities from the original list. Alright, so they've dropped a bunch of points, mostly, and then upped a bunch here, too. Excuse me. Whew. Whew. My bad. You may remember that last time there was a 50% point penalty after you'd killed the boss 100 times. The intention was to encourage players to move around and fight for territory in other parts of the game, but in practice players still found it more lucrative to grind the same content definitely. This time after 75 kills on the same boss, you'll only receive 10% of the usual points. Alright. So they're fucking you up. That makes sense. We've also adjusted how you earn points from outside from combat. So quests are worth more skilling, 10 points per level up from 4. Okay, cool. So doing close, so doing other shit. Not PvP related is getting you a lot of points, which is awesome. But man, combat achievements and achievement dietas are up massively. That is insane. Breaches remain one of the premier source of points last time. However, they were so good that missing a day or two could leave you floundering behind the competition. We want to keep breaches strong, but we're adding a cap to keep things fair. After earning 42,000 points from breaches, you'll no longer be able to earn points. This averages out to a cap of 3,000 points per day, and you'll still be able to earn the incredible loot on offer. They should have more breaches, to be honest. Like they had, I think it was 2 breach sessions a day. One was singles and one was multi-combat. Twice a day, right? I think everyone will still go on breaches on cooldown. Yeah. I think they should just do more breaches though, because people were only logging in, doing the breach, and then logging out. Or they were only going to PvP areas for the breaches and then going back to PvM or PvE or whatever. I feel like more breaches would be more fun, to be honest. Maybe it was 3 times a day. Was it twice or 3 times a day? You might be right. Maybe it was every 8 hours. You could be right. I can't remember now. But I feel like they should do one like every 6 hours. That maybe... Fuck, I don't know. Maybe it was 4 a day. Nah. Was it 4 a day? I don't remember there being 4 a day. I would have gone to 4 a day. Maybe there was. I don't know. I feel like there should be more often though. Like every 2 hours would be pretty fucking cool. Like you'd be so much more active, I reckon. Still time to delete that ultra. What was that? My ass really just tried holding down on the stream to speed it up to 2x. That's embarrassing. Link to see under the breaches heading. If you'd like to see full details on how breaches worked during... Oh, here we go. Thanks for that. How often was it? It doesn't have a time here. Two breaches would open in a random location. Set of breaches would tear through whatever. More monsters travel through. It doesn't say, like, when. What the fuck is this loading bar shit? What? Go away. 3x a day, does it say that? I can't read, so I wouldn't know. But every 8 hours then, eh? Get off my screen. Thank you. There you go. 3 at fixed times. Okay, there you go. You skipped over where it said. Well, I skip over a lot of things, you know? Suck your mum. Bridges were a standout new feature. 3 times a day. There you go. Told you guys. Breaches would appear in a single and multi-way combat area and send monsters streaming into the world. Yeah, we know what breaches were. I feel like 3 times a day was not enough. This was received extremely well and did a fantastic job of condensing PvP activity. Thank you, Nathaniel. Appreciate it, dude. So you'd always have a chance at some action regardless. Okay. Our changes aim to make breaches feel fresh while retaining the same codic fun that made them popular last time. So in 2023, breaches spawned at 3, 11, and 8. They appeared simultaneously in every world and broadcast was sent to all players. We're keeping that system and adding in new region breaches. These breach types will rotate, so you'll have a regular breach followed by a region breach. And so on, 1 breach per day will pick between 3 types at random for a new total of 4 breaches per day. Okay, so you have the same breaches and then you'll have just a new random breach. Is that a random breach? The region breaches monsters spawn across the entire region, typically one outside of the usual breach hotspots. This region will gain about 30 spawn points, so you want to spread out and properly comb the area. So when it says region, if it'll say like Asgarnia, and then it'll be anywhere from fucking Falador to Berthor. There could be shit spawning there and spawning in Remington as well. Is that what that means, you reckon? There'll be 10 breach monsters roaming the region for a total of 15 minutes. Once they killed, another will spawn in. The entirety of the desert. Yeah, if it says desert, it could be fucking anywhere. It could be in Alcrid, it could be in Nada. Right? That's pretty cool. I like that. Loot mechanics are consistent across both breach types, although we've made tweaks to the loot non-MVP players. Non-MVP players will receive 1 roll on the regular drop table rather than 2. This is largely in response to the feeling that resource drops coming from the breaches were so good they didn't feel as worthwhile to engage with other means of obtaining them. And non-MVP players will receive a Chidin, a herbal secondary whose use is covered later in the blog. Alright. King's already got a profit too? True. Alright, what do we got? New breach locations, don't care, that's fine, it tells you anyway. Combat bracket worlds. This is the combat, separating worlds based on combat levels has been somewhat divisive in the past. On one hand, it gives players more reasons to try out limited builds like Pures and Zerks and gives more casual players a little more breathing room. On the other hand, some players argue that it spreads players too thin or that people hide in lower brackets until the very end of the event where they quickly level up to the highest bracket and avoid competition. So basically, this is PvPers crying that they can't kill people that aren't going to go into PvP zones and dangerous areas anyway, so why the fuck does it matter? To combat this issue, we designed Deadman Apocalypse brackets so that the higher combat level worlds had higher drop rate multipliers, incentivizing players to keep moving up. On top of this, breaches proved competitive across all brackets and helped regularly condense activity so that players didn't feel too spread out. Points encouraged players to move around, of course. Some feedback suggested that lower level players didn't feel like chasing drops was worthwhile while still wanted to challenge themselves, so to take on tougher content with their restricted stats. This year we're bringing back combat brackets, but boosting the drop rate multipliers in the 2 lowest brackets to see how things shake out. So they're buffing the lower... so what they're doing is they're... Alright, so what Jagex is doing is they've, you know this... where did they say it? Some players argue that it spreads players too thin or that the people hide in lower brackets until the very end of the event where they'll quickly level up to the highest bracket to avoid competition. Jagex basically says, fuck you to those people and is buffing the lower combat brackets, drop rates. So, good. That's a fucking dub for Jagex. I like that. So you have more incentive to kind of just sit in the 51 to 70 bracket, to be honest. And you keep the 3x that the 71 to 90, 91 to 110 have. You just don't have the combat XP multiplier, but who cares? So, like, you're going to be staying at that combat bracket anyway. I like it. While on the topic, there are some other changes that might spice up the experience of playing a limited account build. Okay, so new drop rate multiplier inclusions. We've added new tasks for the content, and we've released since Deadman Mode Apocalypse, and we're rolling out drop rate multipliers listed above to a handful of their uniques, the Scurry Spy and the Blood Moon stuff. or anything to do with the moon, and then the Coliseum. Okay, makes sense. Desert Treasure 2 bosses are a bit less simple. We plan to allow players to transfer some of their progress into the permanent Deadman mode world, but the permanent... Oh, this is for transferring shit to the permanent Deadman mode world. Right, that's for people who, like, have brain damage. Quest unlocks. In Apocalypse, progressing through combat brackets with a lot more quests. You can learn more about this, okay. Not making any changes to the choices players are offered when entering a new bracket, but we have 2 changes to the automatic quest unlocks. Miller's Crystal and Holy Grail are now automatically unlocked in the 3 to 50 bracket, down from level... Oh, wow, down from the max bracket, okay. This concedes... So this coincides with changes to how Chivalry is unlocked, which are covered a little further down, and Alfred Grimhand's Bar Crawl, whatever, is unlocked already. That's pretty good. I liked the choices that they gave you. For those that don't know, basically every time you moved up to a new combat bracket, you were given a choice of like 2 quest lines to have unlocked automatically for you, and you got all the rewards and bonuses for that. You didn't get the XP though, but it like would give you the crystal bow, for example, or you would go, it was like the monkey round instead, and you'd get like the level 30 teleport and access to Zenites or whatever without having to do the quest. So they were really good, and I think they were pretty well balanced. Global loot table, sigil drops. Yeah, global loot tables like always been pretty fine. Would like to give players a chance to gain new sigils while performing gathering activities in dangerous areas, since the risk of other players taking you down is still present, even if you're chopping a tree or fishing up a storm in Catherine. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Doing skilling in dangerous areas now gives you sigils, which is nice. The emblems are all garbage, and then blighted overloads. Here we go, boys. They're testing overloads again to bring to the game. This new inclusion to Deadman aims to spice up PvP with blighted overloads. They're a way to shift momentum in PvP fights, taking a short-term risk for big potential gains. You guys know how overload works. They're not quite the same as their equivalent. Okay, don't worry, they're not the same as the Cox ones. When killing monsters at breach, you may receive a chin-chin as a drop. The Deadman only secondary for combined with a 4-dose super combat ranging and magic potion at 83 Herblore. But super combat requires 90 Herblore. I guess you can get them earlier, but still. That's just retarded, but sure. You can create a blooded overload. You can only consume doses of the potion in dangerous areas. When the blooded overload is consumed, you'll take 25 damage over 6 seconds. At a rate of 5 damage every 1.2 seconds. For the next 5 minutes, you'll gain damage. Oh, but you lose defense. Wow. That's an interesting overload. I like it. Oh, it says all magic potion. Okay, I see. Oh, okay, so if you use it on... Oh, right, I see. So it's basically going to be... You can use it with just a super combat to have like an overload, a combat overload, I guess. Is that right? That's weird that it's all. So you're going to have different sorts of overloads, or the blooded overload, if you do it on a super combat, you're going to get all the stats still? That's a bit weird. I'm not sure if or is... That might be a spelling mistake. Not sure. Every 15 seconds, if your boosted stats have decayed, they'll reset back up to the boosted level, much like with Chambers of Xeric or Nightmare Zone. Defense level is more than 80% base value, it will decay. Fair enough. 3 different recipes, one result. So if you just have a magic... So if I put this new item in a magic potion, I'll have a overload for all that, really. That's crazy. I don't know. Maybe overload for each style? Maybe, but then... Calling it a blighted... Well, the idea of an overload is to do all combat styles at the same time. Overload boosts damage plus additional accuracy buff as well. Yes. So, what I'm saying is, this Deadman only secondary can be combined with a 4-dose super combat ranging all magic potion. That's got to be a typo, right? To create the blooded overload, you can only consume doses of these potions in dangerous areas. Okay? So, if you drink a ranging or magic potion, is that going to touch defense at all? Because they don't normally. You know what I'm saying? If you get an overload just from a ranging potion, I mean, that could be just the case. It could a Chidin makes it from regardless of these 3 potions. It wouldn't matter. Combat style based overload, yeah. But the fact that it could be made with a magic potion and a Chidin is just weird. Main perks of overload is you can use brews without lowering stats. Yeah, I know what the fuck overloads do. That's not what we're trying to figure out here. If it was an and before magic potion, it would be similar to how super combat is made. Yes, and it would be how like an overload is designed, which is melee magic and range stat boost, right? Just giving people more options to make. Yeah, no, you're probably right. I reckon it just means that you can use any of these potions and you'll get an overload. It's just an interesting way to do it, rather than having all three. I would have assumed you have all three and then the Chidden together, but that's interesting. After the full 5 minutes are up, you'll get your 20. You don't get your 25 HP back. All right. Potion is all about balancing risk and reward. Yeah, okay, I like it. You lose defense, which is interesting. Prayer changes. It's no secret that the balance between common PvP builds has worsened a little over the years. Prayers are one of the biggest contributing issues. This is the topic we've spoken about at length in the past, and we've first proposed Chivalry Prayer Scroll, which failed. Fuck down. Instead, here are some experimental changes we're introducing for Deadman. Chivalry will be unlocked via Holy Grail, which is automatically completed at level 3. Rigor and Augury have no defense requirements. Rigor and Augury will still require their corresponding prayer scrolls. Makes sense. It's like Country Roads. Alright, corrupted weaponry, obtainable rewards. From the last one, the same thing. They're more obtainable than the normal versions. On the whole, we think they sat in a good spot during Deadman Apocalypse, but their usage was lower than we anticipated, perhaps because their power levels were a bit too low. This time we're increasing the accuracy by up to 100% of their originals and raising the strength bonus up to 85% of the originals, with the noticeable exception of the Turmican Shadow. I can't remember what they usually had. I thought they were the same as the normal counterparts. I could be wrong though. Yeah, but they're adding a Dark Bone of Volatile Nightmare stuff as well. Pretty cool. Sigil changes. Oh, fuck me. Alright. I'm not going to go through the sigils. They're powerful. You guys know how sigils work, right? Like, we've seen sigils in the works, and we'll see them again. They're tweaking a bunch of fucking sigils, which you can go fucking check out if you want to. And remember, the combat changes are going to be in by the time this happens, so, like, the mage gear is all going to be very different, too. We're a nerf version of normal weapons. Yeah, that's right. The Shadow is 2x instead of 3x. Ah, okay. There you go. Yeah, they're changing a bunch of sigils around, and they're adding brand new sigils, which are worth going and checking out. Let's have a look at the new ones, actually. Revoke Limitation allows Revenant weapons 50% accuracy damage buff to apply to NPCs anywhere. That's cool. Grants 75% accuracy in all its styles against NPCs. This is a higher tier variant of the Deft Strikes. Sigil of Rampart. Increase your stab slash range and crush defenses by 100. Does not stack with the Sigil of Fortification. That's pretty cool. Very tanky. Sigil of Deception. Automatically re-pickpocket NPCs until you're otherwise unable to do so. This is effectively a portion of the Trickster relic from League's Fall. I like it. Sigil of Lithe. Grants your 2x agility level. Grants your 2x agility level as agility XP while running. Approximately every 10 ticks. Does not grant XP while in safe zones. Not bad. You're going to want agility levels pretty quickly. Increases your accuracy by 1% against players and NPCs for each hit point you're missing. This means if your max is 49 and you're sitting at 50, you gain 49% accuracy against enemies. I like that. Against players and NPCs, remember. Increase the number of targets that Chin Chompers and Ancient Magics can damage from 9 to 11. Shout out 9/11! America, sit down. So long as they're within a 3x radius. 3x3 radius. Nice. And Sigil of Restoration on successful hit, restore 10% of the damage dealt rounded up to your hit points. That's cool. This works against both players and NPCs, but excludes multi-target attacks against any targets beyond the first and special attacks. Okay, so special attacks don't count. Maybe it's not so good then. Damn, not bad. Miss changes. PJ timer for defending players increased from 8 ticks to 20 ticks. For attacking players, the PJ timer has been reduced from 24 to 20 ticks. No worries, they're both 20 ticks. Added an override to many items to minimize the large stack of junk items being given in loot keys. Increase the rate at which Dragon Simus are stocked by shops. We're considering allowing players to gain XP in safe areas, but haven't yet made a decision. Let us know your thoughts on this one. I would say yes, gain XP at a reduced rate, like half the XP rate that you're given. So if you're in a 4x, it's only 2x, 3x, 1.5x, and so on. I think that's probably fair. Gain XP. Yeah, I don't see why not. I thought you already could gain XP in safe zones. Maybe I'm wrong. But I was using a cannon in the Artie Zoo. I could have sworn you could use them in there. Like gain XP in there. And the finale, well, we're not going to be there for the finale, so who cares? Just watch it on the stream. We'll probably watch it while we're live. But that's the Deadman blog. Looks good. The cosmetics are pretty fucking serious. So, yeah, I wasn't going to play it. but it looks like I probably am, which is, I guess, good news for you guys and bad news for my mental health. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him, goddamn! Fuck me, look at that boy. It's huge! You got a big boy.